Thanks Pramod and Rajat for laying out how AI is going to profoundly change every aspect of the world, every industry. So let me touch upon the people aspect. And again, I mean, as a computer scientist, I just feel very fortunate to be living in this special time in computing history where computing has become so powerful, and through that, right, the use of AI technology through which you can really make a difference, meaningful difference to people's lives. So I'll talk about, again, give you some examples of the work that we are doing at Google Research India in three different categories. The first of these categories is where we don't go to our product groups. We went to the NGOs to first understand what were some of the problems. These NGOs which were working on real problems affecting people, we went to them to understand what were some of the problems that they were struggling with, where we could apply our AI expertise and work with them as well as academic partners, right, to really make a difference. So we held a workshop in November. Very soon after the lab got started, we brought together all these NGOs and academic partners, and we kicked off 6 different projects covering the areas of public health, education, and wildlife conservation, where we start working on these problems. So to give you just a couple of examples, in public health area, we're working with this NGO called Arman, which is trying to improve, again, maternal health and infant and baby's health. Because India has this dubious distinction of having too many deaths during pregnancy and too many children that die before they reach the age of 5. So Arman has been running this program, very, very impactful program, where they deliver these very simple audio messages to the mobile phone, to the expecting mother, which for every week of the pregnancy, there would be 1 or 2 messages that would get delivered, which would tell them, look, in this week, what are the things that you should watch out for, what maybe dietary supplement you should be taking, and so on, right, to take care of of, of, of your own health as well as of the unborn baby. And then after the baby is born, for the first 6 months, again, they deliver these messages. And their studies have shown that for mothers who stick with this program, they really see much better outcomes, both in terms of their own complications during pregnancy as well as the child's health, uh, the weight of the child at the end of, let's say, 2 years. Now, the unfortunate part, what they were struggling with was that roughly half of these mothers actually drop out of these programs, despite these overwhelming benefits. So they turned to us, could you apply AI to help us identify, predict which of these mothers are likely to drop out? So we worked on, again, using AI models together with IIT Madras. We built these models that were able to demonstrate on real data from Arman that our AI models were able to identify over 80% of these mothers who were likely to drop out of the program. And so we are excited about this phase where we have just deployed that prediction engine, and Arman is now engaging with these women in a special manner and trying to keep them engaged. And so we look forward to seeing real benefits in terms of actually improved outcomes for so many. So already they touch something like over 2 million women through this program, and they are in fact planning to scale this together with the government Skillkari program to over an order of magnitude more. So we're very excited about that. Another NGO that we are working with is Story Weaver, Pratham Books, which is bringing children's books to many, many different languages, including some of these languages that have very few, I mean, resources available. So we are helping them with like translation of these books into these low resource languages and so on. So the second category of the work that we're doing is where we work with our products. And again, at Google, we are fortunate enough to be working again for a company where our products are being used by hundreds of millions of people in India to make their lives better. I myself have been, well before I joined Google, every problem that I faced, right? The first thing I do is a Google search. So now we have the voice version, right? So we have the Google Voice Assistant, which is the first kind of shop, first stop shop, right, for millions of Indians who are using a mobile device for the first time, who are connecting to the internet for the first time, to be able to access information in their native language. And and what happens is, again, I mean, when you take these models that have been built for languages like English, where there is a lot of data available, yes, they work great, and you have all these results showing, oh, you are achieving accuracies which are better than humans. But when it comes to languages which have far fewer of those labeled data resources, the results are much worse. So we have been again applying AI technology to start to bring some of the capabilities of automatic speech recognition. Once you have recognized the words, understanding the actual intent, and then being able to utilize the sources of knowledge that you have in both Indian languages as well as the mix of languages. Because often in India, we're not sticking to a single language. We might mix up Hindi and English or Tamil and English and so on, which often throws conventional systems, kind of confuses them. And so we have made a lot of stride in really improving the accuracy of these systems so that we are able to address the information needs of each and every individual. And often, I mean, I hear from people who work with the farmers that, look, the kind of services, the kind of information access, right, that you and I take for granted, it simply isn't available to our farmer today. So how do we bring all those benefits to those farmers, right? So that's another bucket. The third bucket is where we are trying to imagine kind of future products that don't even exist today, but which we know are going to be extremely impactful, right, in terms of really impacting people. And one area which is, again, really dear to my heart is healthcare, where I see this as a leapfrog opportunity for India. Um, Compared to other countries like the US and the Western world, right, which have very well kind of uh, strongly entrenched legacy healthcare systems. And none of those countries is happy with its healthcare system. It's too expensive, too reactive, and so on. In India, we don't have functioning, really formal healthcare systems, hospitals covering much of our country. So as we go around providing decent healthcare to our people, we simply cannot afford to take the path that countries like the US and the Western world has taken. We have to do something far smarter. And we believe that smarter path is to really rely on more wellness and preventive healthcare. And again, it is technologies like mobile, uh, all these sensors that are available through mobiles, wearables, cameras, and so on, through which you could monitor what people are doing and predict risk factors and then suggest timely interventions, because timely interventions can really both bring down the cost of health care as well as actually improve outcomes. So an example would be like cardiovascular disease, which is the number one killer in India as well as world over. And roughly 80% of the people in India who die of heart attacks and strokes, they're actually not even aware that they are suffering from cardiovascular disease. And we have a cardiologist who told us there's a clear potential to add at least like of the order of 10 to 15 years of healthy life to these so many of these people who are dying of heart attacks and strokes at relatively young age. So again, we are excited about how we can apply technologies like AI, right, to really make a difference to people's lives. So let me now turn it back to you for the next set of remarks.